Good morning. I was just telling Richard bye. Um, so time changed and it's dark again. Lovely. It's okay though. It's a little dark in here. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, Wi-Fi disconnected, so it kind of blacked out for a minute. So it is not illegal to drive with a light in your car. Okay, you know how your parents, at least my mama, always told me, "Oh, Melissa will get pulled over. No, it's against the law." She just didn't want it all. I mean, isn't that funny how people do that? They'll tell a kid some lie about something just so the kid is scared to do it, and just to put fear in these children, or just to make them believe there's a reason that's really not the real reason, so that they won't do what you don't want them to do. Um, but I mean, that's. But then you get mad when the kids lie to get older and they lie to you. Yo, you taught me how to lie. You taught me like that. Look, my mother used to phone would ring. We had caller ID. I think even before we did. Remember caller ID on the little phone that you had to pick up, mash the buttons. Tell them I'm not here. She would go step out on the front porch so that she wouldn't technically be there. So when I grew up, when I still need to grow up. When I grew up learning how to lie and manipulate, I got in trouble. But you told me, you did it. You showed me that it was okay. Wow. I never thought of it like that, as you showed me it was okay. Huh. I thought of it as I learned it from you, but I learned it from you, but knew it was wrong. But no, you told me it was okay. You taught me. I went by your example. Now, granted, I knew it was wrong still, but I still tried it. I was always one that I'm going to babble a little bit because I'm about to cross over this bridge and it may come in and out. So I don't want to be in the middle of the story and then it kind of flicker and you're not getting to hear the story. That's so aggravating. So this is just babble, babble, babble. Babble, babble, babble. All right. So when I was younger and I would do something I wasn't supposed to do or I would lie about something, I knew I was going to get caught because she always caught me. She could look at me and tell when I was lying. She'd be like, Melissa, I can tell. All right. It even started before we moved into our old house. We were living in my grandmother's house while our house was being built. She would tell me, Melissa, how you do your school or do your homework or this and that. And I would lie about it. She knew I was lying. And so she'd say, I'm going to call your teacher. Well, that got me sometimes. She lied to me, told me she's going to call my teacher. Well, so I would get scared and I would tell her the truth. Okay, well, then I realized she don't even have my teacher's phone number. So I'm going to call her. You can call her. Oh, Melissa, you really? Yeah, you can call her. I didn't. But I got one step ahead. I was one step ahead of her. Might need to change the title of this. I'll talk about some happiness. But for now, we're going to talk about dishonesty. I had to do, when I worked at a rehab facility, I was supposed to go to this kids camp, Georgia Baptist Association camp. And it was these kids. And I was supposed to do a presentation on K through 5. And I'm working at an addiction recovery place. Now, you know that most of them probably knew a little bit about some addiction, alcoholism, or something. Their parents, friends heard it, watched it, whatever. But for the most part, a lot of them weren't really going to grasp don't do drugs. And they were too young to even worry about it. Yeah, I could have scared them out of it. And I did try to, tell them some of the truth behind it in a way that children could understand. But I got the extra large Legos, and on the Legos, I wrote down lie, steal, this and that, and little bitty um, little things that kids do that I did when I was a kid and tried to get away with at their age. At a very young age, I was already lying and stealing from my mother and from stores. I mean, in second, third grade, because I wanted it. So I stole from a teacher. I'll get to that in a minute. I but I had these blocks and I put like what you would think of a little sin or a little disobedient act on each block. But then I told them how, it gets so much easier once you tell one to add another one on top of it. And when one might not seem like a big deal, when you keep adding them on top of it, because when you lie and then you get questioned about it, you got to remember the lie and you got to tell another one. You just got to keep the lie going so that piles up. And then when you get away with lying, you feel like you can be dishonest in other ways and you take that pack of bubble gum and all that stuff. And I showed how it builds up, and then how it's harmful. And so the people over the camp that were in there with the kids from time to time, or the chaperones, that's what I meant. They really liked it. They really liked the fact that I could put it on a child level, but still get a good point and teach it across. Which it was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. So stealing from my teacher, I stole some whiteout. Why? Because I would get distracted easy in class and I would just kind of daydream. I would daydream. I would do my work. I would talk to people and I would daydream and do my work. So to keep me from being distracted by other people, there was a large box. It was somewhat like a refrigerator box. And the standing up tall, one side of it was cut out. That's where my desk was. So there was nothing behind me. But on the three other sides, right, left, and front, I had the cardboard box. That was embarrassing. It was hard and I was mad. So to retaliate, I stole her whiteout. Well, she didn't know, but my mother found it and made me return it. Now that was the most embarrassing thing. But I didn't feel like I could tell my mother, Mama, she put me in a box. It's just because when I grew up, you listen to people older than you. You listen to those who are supposed to be in the authority figure. You respect your elders. And if they tell you to do something, you do it. Point blank, period. There was no if, ands, or buts. My brother was getting in trouble at school because he was doing things. He would do things. He would correct the teacher on some things. Okay, so he's correcting the teacher. He is brilliant. Oh my goodness. But so he would, and it's like the math, I think it was, that he would do the problem, but he didn't have to show the work. So he didn't see why he had to show the work. So he would get in trouble. Well, so my mother believed the teacher, even though he was trying to tell her what was going on, that she was against him. I had that same teacher in 5th grade. She straight up told me in front of the whole class, you're going to be just like your brother. You're not going to amount to anything. All right. So that was like, so then I just like, forget you, and failed her class because I just stopped doing some of my work. I stopped. I gave up. I gave in. And I didn't do the easiest subject, my favorite subject, reading comprehension. I loved it. Well, no, I didn't. I'm not gonna say I loved it, but I was really good at it. I like stories. I like imaginative things. Imaginating. I love imaginating. So all of that was really, really kind of took a toll on me, I guess. And I guess with my brother and stuff, I didn't tell my mother. Mama, she told me this. That's why I failed. So when the school called my mother, because parents could allow their children to pass the grade, it was kind of up to the parent. Well, she never really asked what happened. I never really told her what was going on. And she just told them, yeah, she could go ahead and hold me back. Um, that's neither here nor there. It's old news. She thought she was doing what? Because she trusted the teachers. Because I didn't open my mouth and say anything. I didn't speak up for myself. Never felt I had the ability. The ability, the permission to speak up for myself. I had no voice. Um, Happiness. This is where some happiness comes in because my voice brings me happiness. If I'm continuously giving in to people and not speaking up for the right, or allowing myself to be treated ways without voicing what's going on with me, or when I went back to college for Christian Ministries and I had a question in elementary and middle and high school, I wouldn't ask a question because I was so embarrassed because I felt like failure and fear of rejection. When I was in college, man, you should have seen my hand fly up. What? I had a question. All right, hey, excuse me, and I wasn't like, hey, excuse me, but raised my hand if I had a question. I did not care what any of those people around me thought of me because this was important to me. This was a priority. This goes back to the boundaries, not letting other people overstep into what is my untouchable. And this was very important to me. Well, in finding my voice, I found happiness. And I'm going to tell you, when I found my voice, when I was able to say no to myself, when in regards to relapse, to using, when I was able to say no and do my own thing, I was able to tell other people no. I was able to find my voice with other people. So I've got to be able to tell myself no in order to tell other people no. And not just no, but in order to walk through a room and not fear that I'm going to be walking funny or somebody's going to be looking at me and I'm going to make a mistake or I'll have a wrinkle in my clothes, which that was not it. I always felt like that you're ugly and your mama dresses you funny kid. So shy and insecure. Would try in any sports or anything active because I wasn't an active person. And it wasn't that I didn't want to because it looked like so much fun. It was because I had such a fear of rejection. Never felt good enough and I was going to trip or I was going to laugh at me, blah, blah, blah. Later years, I did kind of grow out of that a little bit in certain company. But in recovery and working the steps, I learned that when somebody says, hey, you want to go to the store with me? Meaning my mother and Richard. If I'm already, like Richard, if I'm already in my PJs, I'm probably going to say no because I don't want to. If I hadn't gotten my PJs yet, yeah, let's ride. Or if it's on the weekend or something like that, yeah, let's ride. But if I'm already just sitting down, relaxing, having a snack, blah, whatever, probably don't want to just run to the store to grab a vape or grab some candy or whatever, just corner store. My mother, Melissa, will go to the grocery store with me. No. Melissa, I gotta go to this place. You want to meet me there? You got anything you need from there? Because you need to meet me. No. I am completely happy in my own skin, and I do not need the approval of others in order for me to find happiness. I'm happy. I started finding happiness and speaking for myself with my recovery. Then I kind of fell back into doing things out of feeling obligated and just stuff like that, doing things because I didn't want to tell people no. It wasn't because I feared they reject me, it's because I felt like I was obligated to. Now that brings me down because I'm not being true to myself. Usually on the year or so AA medallion, it says to thine own self be true. That's got to be first and foremost. You've got to be true to yourself. Because I had somebody, I don't, it was years ago, but they could see it in me, I guess. And this is when I was, I mean, teenager, drunk all the time. Me and my cousin Christy, man, we used to drink. We used to drink the grown men under the table. I mean, we were funneling just as much as they were. So it was fun. I fit in. Woohoo! I fit. I wasn't rejected. Well, I guess somebody kind of picked up on it. It was some friends of ours, and they took. It was her boyfriend actually. He took me to the bathroom mirror, and he said, "Who do you see?" I said, "Me and you." And then he stepped out of my vision in the mirror. He said, "Now who do you see?" I said, "Me." He said, "Exactly. You're the only one that you got to worry about. You're the only one. People are going to walk in and out of your life all your life. You're the only one that's always going to be there. You've got to take care of yourself." Okay, so yes, I was like maybe 17. Yeah, I was 16 or 17, maybe 17 when this happened. And it was profound. And now I use it for other people. That's why I say sometimes some of the things when I used to work at the rehab, I would tell people, you know what, this might not, this experience, 8 weeks, might not be for you, but you're here for 8 weeks. Give it 100%. You'll get something out of it. You might not need it. You might not stay clean, but you'll get something out of it. You will learn something out of this 8 weeks if you give it 100%. And besides, I was told this too. Even if it's not for you, you can learn something and gain an understanding that can help somebody else. And that might be your purpose being here. So give it your 100%. Give it all you got. Get everything you can out of it. A lot of people did, and that was good. A lot of people didn't, but they got something out of it. They know there's another way. Even if they relapse, they know there's a different way. They know that they don't have to live like that. And that's what they need to know. It's about planting seeds and watering seeds that have already been planted. You might be the planter and not the waterer. You might be the waterer and not the planter. You may plant the seed, other people water it, and then later on you help harvest it. You don't know. You don't know how life is supposed to work. But we are created for each other. We're not created. That sounds contradictory. We are created to help each other, but you cannot help other people unless you help yourself. And if you're not happy, you don't find happiness, then you're not going to be willing to stretch out, to reach out. Tell me this. Like, when you're happy, and you're just happy inside, are you bitter and irritated and just kind of still? No, you're expressive. You're smiling. You're bringing another piece of joy to other people. You're not bringing people down. You're bringing them up. So you have to be happy in order to bring people up. To truly, I mean, you can still tell them stuff that'll brighten their day and stuff, and have a good day. Even if you're not happy, you can speak into the lives of other people. But to genuinely make an impact on people and some long-term lasting effects, you gotta take care of yourself. You don't not act happy, be happy. That goes back to the boundaries and setting goals, because if you're letting other people interfere with what's important to you, then you're letting yourself down. And that's gonna break your happiness. It's gonna take away so much joy. Let me tell you, I'm 43 years old and I've never been happier. I have a job opportunity that I may take, depending on what their answer to my last question is. I have my business, the Grow Better. I forgot to introduce myself. Woo! Okay, so I'm Coach Mel. I am with Grow Better LLC. This is a life empowerment coaching business. I like to specialize in goal setting and really focus on the recovery community and those with mental health. Now, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I cannot diagnose you. I cannot treat you. But what I can do is help you find yourself and grow better. So you can visit my website. It is www.growbettercoach.com. And you can also email me, GB as in grow better, with coachmel@gmail.com. So those are ways you can get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook that I'm somewhat active on. I post stuff from time to time. I have my podcast streaming, the video stream that's on YouTube and Facebook, Grow Better. And then I also have the podcast that plays on Spotify and some other, I believe it's on Google Podcasts. I use Anchor and StreamYard. So those are the ones that are just amazing because they let me record it, they let me upload it, they let me, and then they distribute it for me. So isn't that great? They do the distributing for me, which is amazing because I'm not that advanced. I'm not. I'm learning. We're always learning. We're always growing. You don't have happiness, then you're not going to have a lot of completeness. You know, my life is good. It took. I tried to succeed a few times, but I didn't have what I needed. I didn't have the other part. Something was missing, and I found it. It's Richard. I'm not saying that he's a miracle worker. I'm not saying I can't live without him because the same way he can go without me, he can be fine without me. I can be fine without him, but I don't want to be fine. I want to be amazing. And to be amazing, he's my biggest support. He's my puzzle piece. He fills in that extra. And I try to do the same for him. Um, it's we have a good thing. We have a good thing. He motivates me. He makes me want to be a better person because of how good he is. And it's brought me so much happiness. So 43 years old, never been married, don't have any children, and I'm happy. You know, my life is good. Had a flat tire Sunday. All right. So I talked about that. I talked about my flat tire and then get there and the other tire is just as bad. It just had gone flat. Got fixed. Well, I get a message from Richard when I'm at work and it's a picture. He had a flat tire. Okay, so yeah, it's frustrating. It's irritating. And that's, of course, it's a flat tire. But we stayed happy through it. After it was over, it's over. We got it taken care of. We had the ability to get it taken care of. We didn't have to wonder, oh no. I mean, we don't have much. Mind you, we don't have much. But we have enough to maintain and keep going. And that's really, really what motivates us to keep on because we do. I was able to get 2 tires. They're used, they're piece matched, but they're the same size, just maybe a different tread design. But all the tread was good. So other than that, hey, it's fine. We were able to get 2 new tires. And then yesterday he was able to get the car to the place and get his plugs. So we were able to create solutions. If that doesn't make somebody happy, I don't know what does. Do I want that 1400? Yes, I want it. I would get 4 new tires and not the cheap ones like I did last time. Oh, I gotta get oil changed. I should be able to get changed today. Yay, nice. Probably do it at lunch. So I'm just telling you, guys, be happy. Be happy in order to create happiness in others. You got to create it in yourself. Set your boundaries. Do what's important to you. Make sure your priorities are taken care of. Make sure you're taken care of. Don't live for other people. Live for yourself. You're the only one going to be there forever. So I hope each and every one of you has an amazing day and just kills it today. Just kill it today. Be happy. Spread joy. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.